In the bustling city of Susa, the heart of the Persian Empire, a young girl named Hadassah was born into the loving arms of her parents. Her laughter filled their modest home, and her dark curls framed a face that beamed with joy and innocence. Her father, Abihail, a devout monk, often sang ancient psalms, while her mother wove beautiful fabrics adorned with symbols of their Hebrew heritage. Together, they nurtured their daughter in the ways of their faith, teaching her stories of courage and obedience from their ancestors. But life, as it often does, took an unexpected turn. When Hadassah was still a child, a plague swept through Susa, leaving sorrow in its wake. Both her parents succumbed, leaving her an orphan in a world that suddenly seemed vast and cold. It was Mordecai, her kind-hearted cousin, who took her in. Mordecai was a man of wisdom and principle, serving as a minor official in the king's court. He raised Hadassah as his own daughter, and under his guidance, she grew into a woman of extraordinary beauty, grace, and unwavering faith. Despite the hardships, Hadassah's spirit remained resilient. Mordecai often reminded her of her worth, saying, "Hadassah, you are like the myrtle tree after which you are named, ever fragrant, even in the harshest of conditions." His words became the foundation of her strength and humility. Years passed, and the mighty King Xerxes ruled over Persia with grandeur and might. His palace was a marvel of architecture, filled with opulence and splendor. However, beneath the glittering surface of his reign lay a tumultuous court rife with intrigue and ambition. One fateful day, during a lavish banquet that lasted for days, Queen Vashti, Xerxes' consort, defied his command to appear before his guests. Her refusal sent shockwaves through the kingdom, and in a fit of rage, Xerxes decreed that Vashti would never again enter his presence. The search for a new queen began, a beauty contest unlike any the empire had ever seen. Young women from across the provinces were to be brought to the palace, groomed, and presented before the king. When news of this edict reached the Jewish community in Susa, Mordecai's brow furrowed with concern. He turned to Hadassah and said, "My child, though it grieves me, I believe you must go. But remember this, conceal your Hebrew name and identity. Let them call you Esther, for you are destined to shine like a star." Esther was taken to the royal harem, where she was placed under the care of Haggai, the custodian of the women. Unlike the other contestants, Esther's beauty was not merely skin deep. Her kindness, wisdom, and humility set her apart. Haggai was captivated by her demeanor and granted her special privileges, providing the finest beauty treatments and the best quarters. 4 months, the women underwent rigorous preparations, fragrant oils, aromatic baths, and lessons in court etiquette. The air was thick with tension and rivalry, but Esther remained serene, her faith a beacon in the midst of uncertainty. She often whispered prayers under her breath, seeking strength and favor. When the day of her presentation arrived, Esther walked into the king's chamber with a quiet confidence. Draped in flowing silks and adorned with simple yet elegant jewels, she radiated a natural beauty that needed no artifice. Xerxes, a man accustomed to extravagance, was struck by her purity and grace. As she bowed before him, their eyes met, and in that moment, the king saw not just a beautiful woman but a queen with a rare spirit. "Esther," he declared, his voice echoing through the grand hall, "you shall be my queen." The proclamation was made, and Esther, the orphan daughter of Abihail, ascended to the throne as the Queen of Persia. Yet, in the privacy of her heart, she knew her journey had only begun. For beneath the crown she now bore lay the weight of her people's destiny, and the call to fulfill a purpose far greater than herself. Life in the palace brought Esther into a world of luxury and influence, but also one of danger and intrigue. She concealed her Jewish identity as Mordecai had advised, but her heart remained tethered to her people. Mordecai often sent messages to her, and she kept herself informed about the plight of the Jews in the empire. One day, Mordecai uncovered a sinister plot. Haman, the king's highest official, fueled by his pride and hatred, sought to annihilate all the Jews in Persia. His fury stemmed from Mordecai's refusal to bow before him, an act of defiance born of Mordecai's devotion to God. Haman manipulated Xerxes into signing an irrevocable decree that sealed the fate of the Jews. When Esther learned of this, her heart sank. Mordecai sent her a message, urging her to plead with the king for their lives. "Do not think that because you are in the king's house you alone will escape," he warned. "And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" Esther was terrified. Approaching the king uninvited could mean death, even for the queen. Yet, her resolve hardened. She called for a fast among the Jews and her attendants, seeking divine intervention. After 3 days, dressed in her royal robes, she approached the throne room, her heart pounding with every step. The grand hall fell silent as she entered. Xerxes looked up, his gaze softening as he extended his golden scepter. Relief washed over Esther as she touched its tip. "What is it, Queen Esther?" he asked. "Even up to half the kingdom, it will be given to you." Esther, with wisdom and tact, invited the king and Haman to a banquet. At the feast, she extended another invitation for the following day. The suspense grew, and Haman's arrogance swelled. That night, however, the king, plagued by restlessness, ordered the royal chronicles to be read. He discovered Mordecai's earlier act of loyalty in foiling an assassination plot and resolved to honor him. The next day, before Esther's second banquet, Haman was forced to lead Mordecai through the streets, proclaiming his honor, a humiliating blow to his pride. At the banquet, Esther revealed her identity and exposed Haman's plot. "If I have found favor with you, your majesty, and if it pleases you, grant me my life. This is my petition. And spare my people. This is my request." She explained the decree and Haman's treachery. Xerxes, enraged, ordered Haman to be executed on the gallows prepared for Mordecai. The king issued a new decree, allowing the Jews to defend themselves against their enemies. When the appointed day arrived, the Jews triumphed, securing their survival. The celebration of their victory became known as Purim, a joyous festival commemorating their deliverance. Esther's bravery and faith had not only saved her people but also reaffirmed the power of courage and divine purpose. Though she remained a queen in a foreign land, her heart was forever bound to her people and her God. Her legacy endured as a testament to the strength found in obedience, humility, and the belief that one life can change the course of history.